Hi, good evening and welcome. My name is Prestige Ferguson, and I'm so delighted that you are joining us in our pre-event conversation. And for me, this is a huge privilege to have our esteemed guests, and it is quite a privilege, and I'm sure that wherever you are joining us from, your life is about to change. Your destiny is about to meet the desired catalyst it requires to get to the next level. And so it is my privilege. If you are just joining, I need you to share this as much as possible so that everyone else could be a part of this. Thank you so much. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Privilege.
Dr. Prince Abah is the senior pastor of Preston Hills Church, and is a church for the now, in the sense that it's one church that embodies the mindset of God for the later church. Beyond that, he is a leadership expert. By leadership expert, I have seen him, exemplify what leadership is really about, and he's someone I've always admired from afar. And I'm very grateful to God that today he's here with us in the studio. Dr. Yawo.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Mr. Ferguson.
Thank you, sir.
Very much for what you're doing.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we are doing this in a way to help you understand what Young and Successful Conference is very much about. Over time, the idea of success has been distorted. Over time, a lot of people have misconstrued it to, a quick reach, amounting it to what you have other than what it should be, actually. And today, we'll be looking at it on the theme, Young and Successful. And I'm trusting that after now, you should have all the conviction you need to go and get your tickets and to make sure that you are in the conference, okay? So, Doc, thank you so much for being here with us. So we'll start with exploring the theme. What does young and successful mean to you? And how can we redefine success for the younger generation?
All right. First of all, let me say thank you for having me on this wonderful show.
Thank you, sir.
You're one person I admire too. You're very young and full of life and dreams, and you have great prospect. And
thank you, sir.
The future is really very bright for you.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you very much for having me, and to everyone watching, it's going to be a great time together. So the theme, Young and Successful, is very strategic and very timely also, because we live in a generation that belongs to the young people. That does not mean the old people don't belong to this generation, but if you watch the flow of things in this generation, you see that most of the things happening appeal more to the young.
Sure.
From technology to different evolutions in technology like AI, mobile phones and the likes, fashion, entertainment, and even business and entrepreneurship. So young people today have the world to themselves. And it's interesting that we are living in a time like this. What it means to be young is to be energetic. What it means to be young is to be full of life. What it means to be young is to live in the time of your prime, in a season where you have the opportunity to envision and to live in a time where you can see a future better than your current realities. So being young is an advantage. What it means to be young is to live in a time where you can catch a dream for your life. That's the summary of being young. Young is strategic. Young is timely. Young is an opportunity to invest in your tomorrow, today. Basically, that's what I can say.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
And of course, I should also add young and successful.
Yes, sir.
All right. So successful, the concept of success has been bastardized and abused.
True.
A lot of people think success is the acquisition of things.
Yeah.
Especially material things, acquisition of money, acquisition of fame, acquisition of properties, cars, and all that. But success actually is not about having things. Success is about knowing you. The discovery of oneself is the beginning of success. Success is knowing the essence for life. Success is knowing why you are alive. Success is finding out the purpose for which you're born. And success is fulfilling that purpose for your birth or for your creation. So success is far from having things. Success is discovering you.
Wow.
That's what success is.
Wow. Success is not about acquiring things. It's about discovering you. And I think this is why Young Leaders Conference is one of a kind, a masterpiece, in the sense that it's one event that points you back to you. It's one event that helps you understand who you are in your full light, in your full potential. A man said that it is not what you don't have that will limit you. It is the things that you have that you're not making use of. Perhaps you have you. And so that is what leadership is about. Thank you so much, Doctor.
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm moving to the next question. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life that shaped your understanding of success?
Well, at a certain stage of my life, quite younger than I'm still very young, by the way, though a young old man in a way. But at some point in my life, especially when I was more of an adolescent, transiting into being a teenager, I began to discover the potentials of God embedded in me. It became clear that I was born for more than just existence. At a point in my life, it became clear to me that I had potentials that were unique. God had invested his treasures in me, and I began to tap into these resources of God on the inside of me. One of the questions I asked God one time in my prayer was, Lord, why am I alive? Why was I born? And why did you put all the virtues you've put in me? The great dreams and the great vision, like Joseph in the Bible. When he was just 12 years old, he had begun to see great things. I remember him waking up in the morning and telling his dad and siblings, I saw we're in the farm and we had our sheaves all standing, and at the point, every other sheaf was bowing down to my own. He was young, but he had a lot of dreams. And his siblings thought at some point I was being proud to see some of those things or talk that way. But you see, there's nobody God did not create with a purpose. God wouldn't allow you to be here if he doesn't have a purpose for you, all right?
True.
And the responsibility lies on us to find out why we are here. And why God has deposited the things he's deposited in us. There's nobody God has not put treasures in. There's nobody God has not put potentials in. So I came to that point in my life where it was clear to me that there are potentials that the Lord has put in me. There are things that I am born to do to make my world a better place. And of course, at that point, it began to change my outlook of life. It began to change the people I work with. It began to change my tastes, all right? Things I used to have craving for began to change because I knew I was born for much more. I knew that there were people out there who would need me to cross their paths to make a difference in their life. I knew that there were people whose destinies were interconnected or interlinked with mine. So that meant I could not afford to live just anyhow. I couldn't afford to do the things that I wanted to do. I needed to live with purpose and intention, right? So that defining moment occurred for me very much early in life. And that has shaped everything about me, has led me through different trainings, different exposures. I've gone for different kind of mentorship, different kind of development, different kind of courses, just because I knew quite early enough that I was called to do something unique in destiny and affect the lives of people. Yeah, so for me, it was an early journey. It began very early.
Wow.
From adolescence, transiting into teenagehood. I was already clear on what I was called to do. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's my word to every young person there. Your youthful stage is a very strategic stage in your life. It's a stage of discovery. All right. There are about 7 stages of development. The first stage is the stage of discovery. And you discover that stage within the first early stage of your birth, from when you are born all the way to when you become an adolescent, and even before you move into teenage life, you should have known who you are.
Yeah.
If you read scriptures, and of course, I know I'm talking to a vast audience beyond church people, but if you read scriptures, you realize that the people that were very outstanding in their time, like Jesus, our role model, for example, discovered himself quite early. At the age of 12, he was already in the temple discussing with the professors and the rabbis of that time. The Bible said he asked questions at the temple and they were astonished at the wisdom of his questions. That tells you that the guy already knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he was born for, and he began to prepare early for it. And that's why at age 30 all the way to 33, he did marvelously well in ministry, and by 33 he was good to go. So early beginning is very, very important. For me, that was how it all started, quite early.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. It reminds me of this adage that says that 20 children cannot learn in 20 years.
That's right.
And for some of us who are wondering, how early should I start? I mean, if you're already above 18 and you haven't started yet, I mean, you are wasting. But again, not to scare you, the second best time to get started is now. And that is why we want you, by all means, to make sure that you're in Young Leaders Conference. In Young Leaders Conference, you are going to be exposed and equipped with all of what it takes to really begin to discover yourself. You will find out that there's a lot of potentials hidden inside of you that you didn't even know about. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so moving very forward, role models. Who are some young leaders or influencers you admire, and what qualities do you think contribute to their success?
Well, if you use the word young leaders...
On leaders.
Yeah, leaders, because a lot of them are not young in quotes, as it were.
Yes, sir.
But I discovered them when I was much younger.
Okay.
Some of them are alive, some of them have transitioned to glory. Okay. And they shaped my belief system a whole lot. And I hold them in very high esteem. So I'll mention a few of them. Yeah, there's a whole catalog of them.
Yes, sir.
Plenty. I could mention up to 1,000 of them.
Yes, sir.
But one of them, of course, I would talk about my spiritual father and mentor, Dr. David Ogwili, of course. That's the first I would mention on the list. He's one man who shaped me to a very great extent.
Yeah.
I remember listening to his tapes for 1 to 2 months consecutively. I had not met him at the time. And I felt like, is this man talking? This is the kind of thing I'm called to do. It's a leadership expert by excellence and a reformer. And I knew I was called to do something beyond the church walls, that my life and my existence was going to affect nations and not just affect the church community, as it were. So he's one man I look up to. He's shaped my life to a very great deal. I have Dr. Miles Morrow of Blessed
memory.
Very great man. He's one man I follow back to back.
Wow.
I have been mentored a great deal by Dr. Miles Morrow. Most times when I engage with people in different nations of the world and I travel out, or even in this country, a lot of people tend to say, it's like you're coming from that extraction. Dr. Miles Morrow shares a lot with you and all that. I say, yeah, he's one man who shaped me. So Dr. Miles Morrow is one. Pastor Sam Adeyemi. Dr. Sam Adeyemi is another great role model and mentor. And if you look at the people I'm mentioning, there's a common trait about all of them, right? There's a common trait. So Dr. Sam Adeyemi is another great man. I love him for his depth of wisdom. He's a paradigm shift leader. He doesn't think in the box, he thinks out of the box. Yeah, and as a pastor, he's done quite a lot to contribute to reshaping the mind of churches, to move the church from religious thinking to transformational thinking. So that's one great man I love. Of course, I love Pastor Sunday Adelaja. Doesn't matter the stuff, that has happened, but he's one man I still love because he's contributed immensely to social development. You know, his book, Church Shift, did a lot of shift in my mind. It made me see ministry in a different light. And so can I go on? Do I have to stop at this point? So there are quite a number of them, you know, and I love and I honor this man.
Yes. And I think the outstanding quality, what are the outstanding qualities that these three have for our audience so they could?
Kingdom. They are kingdom driven.
Okay.
They are not religious people. These are not religious folks. They are not caught in the four walls of the church. They are kingdom minded.
Okay.
They are leadership experts.
Okay.
They are transformational. They are not they're not religious, like I said.
Yeah.
They are nation builders. These are people who build nation. Nation building, leadership, and kingdom is my core area of competence. Yeah, there are many things I do. I do healing, I do charismatic preachings and all that. But kingdom, leadership, nation building, of course, purpose discovery. These are my core areas of competence. And this is the same thing common about this man. So I'm not confused about who I follow. I'm very definite about the people I gravitate around. Yeah.
Awesome. The truth is, you need to encounter Dr. Prince. The truth is that he's one man who is a nation. He's one man who, all of these things, all of these persons he has. You know, one thing about mentorship is that it helps you gather together all of people's wealth, all your mentors' wealth of experience, and then they are deeply seated in one person. So we'll be having a surprise for you in the Young Leaders Conference coming up on 9th. I want you to meet Dr. Prince personally, and you would really love to listen to him. But I'll keep that in the box. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so moving forward, what are some obstacles young people face on their path to success, and how can they overcome them? Let me portray this a little bit. I know personally, people think I'm a strong person, but I'm not. There are countless of the times where I have failed and failed and failed. And sometimes we want to ask, how do you get through this? I really need a lot of people to understand it. First of all, is failure part of success? Is it a path towards success?
Failure is part of success.
Okay.
Failure is only an opportunity to learn. Okay. That's what failure is. So a child does not get born and hits the ground running. When a child is born, he starts from crawling. And from crawling, he learns to stand. From standing, he learns to walk. And most of the times, he would fall. That's what the journey to success is like. You're going to have hiccups. You're going to have hitches. It's normal. Failure does not mean you're not doing well. Failure simply means you are on a journey. You are going through a process. You are being refined. You're being fine-tuned. That's what failure is. But failure becomes fatal and becomes disastrous when you settle in it. When you fail and make failure the destination, then you have truly failed. Failure is not meant to be the destination. Most people fail and they quit because they saw failure as, okay, I can't do this. Failure means I'm not meant for this. No. Failure was only shaping you for what you could do. Failure was preparing you for where you were going to. So how you see failure determines what failure makes out of you. Failure can either make you better or make you bitter, depending on how you approach failure. Now, in talking about obstacles that young people face,
Yes, sir.
most times people see obstacles as external factors that limit you from achieving your goals. But obstacles actually is in twofold. There are obstacles within and there are obstacles without.
Wow.
So obstacles within are internal. The obstacles without are external. And I believe that the obstacles without are 20% of the obstacles you will face in your journey to destiny. The obstacles within, which is internal,
Wow.
is 80% of the obstacles you face. So deal with the obstacles within more than you talk about or face the obstacles that are without. emphasize more on the obstacles within. Let me mention some of the obstacles within that young people need to deal with. One of it is impatience.
Wow.
A lot of young people are not patient today. So they kick off with something and they want that thing to succeed immediately. That's already a stop for you. That's already a problem for you. As long as you're not patient, you would give up in the tracks. You would quit the journey very soon. Or you may cut corners to achieve your goals. A lot of times I've seen people who ended up in a very disastrous situations by just cutting corners. All right. So impatience is one of the internally imposed obstacles I think is stopping young people today. Number 2 is the lack of a clear vision. All right. Lack of a clear vision. When you are not clear on where you're going to, you already have a major problem. No matter how you want to be helped on the outside, you don't know where you're going to. You can't get there.
Clear vision.
A lot of young people don't have a vision. That's an obstacle itself. You ask them what they want. They tell you they want big things. They want good homes. They want good cars. They want to have a happy life. And ask them, what is your vision for having all these things? Because vision is like the force that attracts your desires.
True.
Whatever you desire the good life, you desire health, you want vacations, you want peace, you want good homes, good cars, you want good friends, everything, good life. That's your desire. But the vision is now the force that compels those things to you. If you don't have a vision, you won't have all that. Okay, if you want to go to America, for instance, how do you get to America? You need an airplane to take you to America.
Yes, sir.
So you must go to the airport. You must have your visa, the passport, and all that. But you need an airplane to convey you to America. So what an airplane is to us, if we want to travel, is what the vision is to you. The destination is the desire. You want a happier life. You want a more fulfilling life. But you need a vehicle called vision to take you there. All right? So visionlessness or lack of clear vision is one of the challenges that young people have today. A lot of young people lack vision. Of course, another obstacle I can talk about is a lack of passion.
Wow.
The lack of passion is the drive. When you have a vision is one thing, but you need the drive. You see, nothing stops a man easily that has passion.
Wow.
When you are clear about where you want to go to, and you have the necessary fuel. Passion is the fuel that drives the vision. The aircraft is the vision. But the fuel is the petrol that powers the aircraft.
True.
If you have an aircraft and you don't have a fuel, you can't fly.
You can't.
If you have a car, you don't have fuel, petrol, you can't move.
Wow.
So passion is like the fuel that compels or propels you to your destination. Nothing can stand in the way of a man whose will is resolved.
Wow.
Once your will is resolved and firm, you are resolute and resolved to be here. Doesn't matter what it is. I've had a lot of such stories. I was asked to speak at a leadership, did a lecture at a convocation of leaders from particular institutes, leadership institute. And I was asked to speak on the topic, the place of resilience in leadership. And I told them, you guys have set me up. This topic is who I am. He didn't just give me a topic to talk about. Resilience is who I am, because I've seen a lot of things that stop other people come to me, and they couldn't stop me. Why? Because I was resolved at all costs. This one thing I've set my heart to do will be achieved with or without help. Until you get there, you are not ready to go forward. You must come to a point where you are willing to die for what you believe. As I even speak now, something is really not
honest.
Passion. You must have fire. You must be a man of fire.
Yes, sir.
First, your vision must be clear.
Yes.
Then the passion to go through it, and of course the patience to go through it. There are a lot more I can say. If you remove those internally imposed obstacles like easily, you are easy to give up. You are easy to throw in the towel. Those are obstacles.
Yeah.
Once you deal with them, nothing stops you again. Yeah. For now, let's do with this.
Okay. Wow. This is very, very amazing. I feel like I'm already in the conference already, because I could feel the atmosphere. There is something about meetings. All great men and women are a product of meetings. And if you want to see your life move from point A to point B, if you want to see your life move from status quo to status flux, you need to take time to listen to people who have gone ahead of you, to be in a meeting with people who your reality or your dream rather is already their reality plus more. Nothing shapes a man as that. So you find out that some of the things, what's really stuck with me, sir, is when you said that obstacles are of two types. The one within and the one without.
That's right.
And I remembered there's a saying that if there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. So I just found out that this is the best time to hold this conference. There is never a time that would have been way much better, especially in a Boeing, where there's a lot of dependence on the government, on what other persons can do for you and all the rest of them. Please do well to be a part of this conference. It will profit you. It is to your profiting. Okay, thank you so much, sir. For want of time, let's go very quickly. How vital is networking for young individuals aiming for success? And what strategies can they employ to build meaningful connections?
Okay. Very, very strategic question. I love this question. Permit me to use scriptures as a reference point. When God created man, he created man to have dominion. And dominion is the end point, success. And then in Genesis 1 verse 26, God said, let's make man in our image and our likeness and let them have dominion. Now, over time, people have thought about image and likeness. But there's a third component in that scripture that we skip. Image is the character of God. Likeness is the competence by which God operates. Character is the nature of God. But likeness deals with the functionalities of God, the principles by which God operates. So first, image is character.
Yeah.
Likeness is competence. But God said, and let them have dominion. So what's the third component in the dominion equation or the success equation? Is the them factor.
Okay.
Them factor is the community factor.
Wow.
So there's character. The equation for success is develop your character.
Okay.
All right. And of course, if I have to talk on character, there's a whole lot
Yes, sir.
to say there. There's competence. You have to develop skills, acquire principles. It's not enough to just be a good man. That's character. You have to be good at what you do. That's competence. You have to develop community.
Wow.
You cannot have success without community.
True.
And your community must be people who share like passion with you, people who are moving in the same direction with you, people who see what you see, people who have the traits that you have, people whose mind think like yours. So you need synergy. You need community to achieve success. Now, when you're looking for community, there are some traits you must exhibit. One, you must be the person or be the person in the process. All right?
Okay.
And you must reflect the values and the lifestyle, the trait and the behavior of the people you want in your space.
Wow.
Now, if I want to meet with the President of the United States of America,
Okay.
I must reflect something that makes it easy for such a man to be in my space.
Wow.
There must be reflection of values. You know, when you stand in the mirror,
Yeah.
what you see is your reflection,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
When you stand before people, you must also see your reflection. So when I meet a man that I admire, what is in him that resonates with what is in me? Most people just want to get into people's space and they have not asked themselves, do I reflect this person in a way? You know, you must be very careful how you choose what you call next similar dreams with me. If a person does not share similar values with me, there's no point of meeting.
Wow.
There wouldn't be any point of meeting.
Yeah.
I know ministers of the gospel who are doing pretty well in their space. I hear what they preach. I see what they do. They have big facilities. They have members. And I love them, honor them and respect them. We can greet and talk and relate, but they're not in my community. Because my vision, my dreams and my aspiration, and even my message is so different that we may not be able to share so much in common. So that's one thing to look out for in choosing your network. Number two is, if you want to relate with people, because network is a two-way thing. There's vertical relationship, right? And there's horizontal relationship. What that means is this. You are either relating with people who are above you, people who are below you.
Yes, sir.
That's vertical.
Yes, sir.
All right? Horizontal is relating with people who are in your circle. People who are like you, people who are like your peer groups, people who are the same cadre with you in career, in profession, business, or whatever. Age grade, right? But vertical, it's a two-way thing. People who are above you, people who are below you. Let me take the upper vertical. If you're going to relate with people, or you want a network of people who are better than you, who are above you, there are some traits you must possess to have such people in your circle and have them comfortable in your circle. One of the traits is humility. It's an important trait, and young people who want to be successful must possess that trait. There's something about people who God has helped, or people who are successful, or people who have over time achieved some milestone and some groundbreaking feats. There's something about them. They are very careful of the people who come into your space.
Wow.
Very, very careful.
Very true.
One thing they watch out for if they would admit you into their space is a level of humility and meekness that you exhibit. So meekness is very cardinal. I can say this without missing word. Young people today must shun pride. Pride is one of the greatest problems of young people today. Lots of young people, not every young person. It's very rare to see a young person who wants to submit himself, who wants to follow with meekness, who is humble. The moment you touch one or two figures and you can afford to buy a car, you feel you're now better than everybody. And before long, you're headed for a crash. So humility is one of the marks. If you're going to relate to people who are higher than you, be humble. Number two, and I would stop at that.
Yes, sir.
Learn to honor relationships. Learn to service relationships. Learn to make people who are above you feel that you honor them. It might be in how you express gratitude to them for the things they have achieved and the lessons they've taught you. Once a person higher than you feels honored, he feels appreciated, he opens himself the more to you. Because whether you like it or not, there are some things you will not learn on your own.
True.
There are even things you will not learn in reading books. Books are great. I write books. Books are great. But there are things you won't learn just reading books. There are things you wouldn't even just learn watching YouTube content.
True.
There are things you wouldn't learn surfing the internet and reading posts on blogs and all that. You would learn some things by relating with people. And these traits, like honor and humility, will make them comfortable to open themselves up to you. I share life's successes, things they have done, principles, share their strategies, things they have done to help them. If you are humble and if you honor them, they can open up to you.
Wow. I feel like clapping.
Wow.
Thank you so much, sir. Wow. Did you hear that? So that resonates with me. There is this, over time, there's one day I made a post and I said, your mentors are not looking for you. And people were like, what do you mean? And it's true, they don't have space for you. They don't want to bring you in. You need to qualify. You need access, So thank you so much. Wow. That's a whole lot. Please, if you've not made up your mind to be a part of this conference, especially the beautiful thing about the Young Leaders Conference is it embodies the people at the lower level, the people at your level, and the people who are way above you. It's going to be a coming together of leaders. And I'm telling you, we are trying as much as possible to reach out to every person who we think should be there. As a matter of fact, there are certain persons, when they tell me they want to be in the conference and they say they have the money for the ticket, I said, no, don't come. You've not yet crossed the boundary. You've not yet qualified for it. It goes to say that the best place to network is in meetings. The best people are always found in meetings. And if you think you think you are one of the best in a boy, you need to be in Young Leaders Conference. You need to be in Young Leaders Conference. Okay, so because of time, I'll need to rush very quickly. So, in what ways do you believe education, formal or informal, plays a role in achieving success for young people today?
Yeah.
Especially with the concept that education is a scam.
Education is not a scam. What is a scam in education is the curriculum, outdated curriculum. I do a lot of curriculum reform for schools, all right? And education itself is supposed to be a journey, a transition. Yesterday I was speaking in church, and I said the problem with education in Nigeria is the fact that we have experienced societal evolutions over the many years. Society is never the same after 7 years. After 7 years, major things are introduced, different things happen that shift society from one level to another. And then I said a lot of people go to school in dispensation where IQ is not enough to solve problems, just to acquire IQ, all right? The ability to read and write and reason and blah, 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 all right? But we live in time where adversity is the order of the day. COVID-19 has changed the world and how things are done. I believe that the school should integrate new syllables and curriculum that helps their students embrace the uniqueness of the time we live in and prepare them for the challenges. So education is not a scam. Education is not a problem. The problem is the operators of the system are not doing a thorough job. They are not doing a thorough job. And that's why people go to school, they graduate and feel like, I went to school, I have a degree, I can't find a job. But actually, education was not meant to prepare you to get a job. It was meant to free your mind to create, to innovate, and to contribute to the well-being of society. All right, that's for me what education is supposed to do: to free people's mind, to expose people's mind, to take them through not just through history, but also project them into the future and show them where the world is going to and what they can do to make it different in the most innovative way. So that's the role, I think, education is very strategic. So formal education is, of course, schooling.
I'm sure you had a good time. I'm sure that, like I told you when we started, like your life was going to experience some quality shifts. I know this man, he said one of the most important things in life is conversation. And I'm sure this conversation have changed you in a great deal. Okay, so let's wrap up. Sir, for want of time, what key piece of advice would you give to young people just starting their journey towards success?
First, know what you want. What do you want out of life? Second, what's the price to get what you want? And first thing, decide what you want. The second thing is to discover the cost of securing what you want. And the third advice is resolve to pay the price. These are the three things I want to leave you with. A man whose life will ever be better than it currently is must begin by discovering something different he wants from what he currently has. All right? So as a young person, you have to make up your mind to go on a journey of discovery of something new, something better than your current reality. The way you have discovered it, number two, is to count the costs. You have to know what it's going to take you to secure or to purchase what you want to have. And I'm not talking about purchasing something physical now. I'm talking about purchasing something intangible, purchasing your dream, your goals, your visions. When you have determined the cost, the third thing is make up your mind, resolve against all odds to go for it, to pay that price, to pursue that dream in spite of the obstacles, in spite of the roadblocks, in spite of the discouragements and distractions you may meet on your way. Make up your mind to just pay that price. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. Discover it, make up your mind, and pay the price. And I think part of the price to pay is to ensure by every means necessary that you're a part of Young Leaders Conference. It's a ticketed event, and what it simply means is, regardless, you either pay for what you want or you pay for the things you need. And it's either is ignorance that you're paying for, or you are paying for values, the things that will move you from where you are to where you're supposed to be. And so the event is on the 9th of November, 2024. And after that, on the Monday, there's going to be a business masterclass. Of course, you've also heard from our esteemed doctor that beyond what is learned in school, you should make necessary arrangements to also learn from other informal mediums. And I think you're going to be meeting a lot. Like, this event is just for you. It's packaged in such a way to help your self-esteem. Immediately you're walking into the gates, everything Abakaliki Airborne is already changing. Like, it's like we are saving all the receivables just to make sure that the very best of you emerges. So I'll only tell you to be intentional. Just be intentional, and I'll see you in the event. Thank you so much, Doc.
God bless you.
For being a part
And
of.
I'm going to join my voice to say, please attend the conference.
Yes, sir.
This is not one young man that I would withhold recommendation for. I've known him to be a focused and a very passionately zealous, focused young man. And he has something to offer you. I've gone through the flyers, I've seen the quality of speakers coming. You just cannot afford to miss it. You just cannot afford to miss it. Make sure you're there. I'm looking forward to being there myself. It's going to be a great time together.
Wow.
Have a wonderful time.
Thank you so much. Do have a very great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
God bless you. And appreciate you.